Hood Postman, City, Hood, click. Let's go.
About humanity, putting truth in these lines, while they busy feeding lies. When you got that tunnel vision, gotta open up your eyes. Wake up and go to sleep. Man, I'm praying all times. And to my guys, ain't no other side. This for my brothers, I'ma pray we all shine. Lock the door. Go ahead, lock the door. Lock the door. Go ahead, lock the door. Yeah, you already know.
Depending on the lessons, some people eat, some people learn. But the game is going to send you a big. Lock the door.
Lock the door. Shout out to the Mailroom Nation and the Mailroom Goons. I am Professor Melly Mail, the Hood Postman. Be sure to click that notification bell, like, subscribe, and share. Drop a comment down below so when the dope content hit, it'll feel like the 1st and the 15th. Welcome to the mailroom. When you come in, take a look at your mind, examine what's in your heart. Before they had handguns, they had handguys. Man up. You can go anywhere in the world to get a couple of lies, but you come right here to get the truth. This is not a glorification or a glamorization. It's always an education. Get on the bus and let me take you to school. The metaphorical bus. I am the bus driver. I hear and see everything. I know the behaviors, the attitudes, the disruptions. I see it all. I see all the kids that getting on the bus is just problem child. With that being said, I am Professor Bell, Comfy Girl. Shout out to Comfy Girl in the house. Can you guys hear me okay? I don't know if my volume is up right, guys. Can you hear me okay? Drop a 1 in the chat or just say, yeah. What's good? Oh, what's good? Going on, Dr. Love? Appreciate you. Yes. Good to see you. And love and missing. Yeah. Still can't see you. Everybody tell me, can you hear me? Trying to figure that part out. Hello, Mr. Postman. Thank you, Girl. Shout out to Postmaster General Marlon Williams. Thank you for dropping that pod, bro. I appreciate that. Everybody that's joining us in the chat, much love. Speaking on Crip culture, when did the people do away with the Crip whistle? And that's crazy that you asked that, bro. That was around for so many. Man, I can still do it, I think. Yeah, that was around so long. That was really a 70s era thing. And it went on to the 80s, and then from there it started dying down from there. But yeah, let me do something. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy that you mentioned it, but that was a good question, bro. That was a very quick question. Thanks for the donations. I appreciate it. So, T, what's happening, man? Yeah, so let's get to it because what I'm trying to tell you guys, the 70s. The 70s in particular was influenced by weightlifters and people building their body and being strong and wanting to be because you got to understand, in the 70s, bodybuilding was influenced, and I'm gonna give it to Craig Munson, because Craig was this huge guy, and he was just a big, and everybody saw what his physique was and what he and how powerful and strong. I was actually in Wayside with Craig. It was me, Craig, Morstein, Bodacious, Show Dog, and a couple of other East Coasters. We was all in the minimum yard at that time, and Big Craig Monson was up there. And I actually got a chance to meet Craig, talk with him, and just, get a understanding of who he was. So, I mean, he was a cool, mellow guy. He wasn't like a loud or a braggadocious guy like some of the other guys that was over there. They was like off the chain, but no, Craig was just a smooth, not just a guy that was kind of quiet. Actually, he was kind of quiet, but you could tell that he had a ferociousness about him. So if I had to give it to somebody, I would say Craig. And one of the other ones I would want to say, but like when I had Jack on the phone, Big Jack over in Watts, everybody from Tookie to Billy Jack to Raymond to all the guys I'm just naming, I used to go over Big Jack's house and buck Mad Dog. So Big Jack got influenced by Big Mad Dog, Big David Mad Dog, right? Clark, Big David Mad Dog Clark. Big David Mad Dog Clark, when he got out the pen in the early 70s, he coming down the alley, and I'm talking to Jack on the phone. Jack tell me the story. And he saw Big David. He's like, dang, man, how you get like that? Right? And he said, Mad Dog went back home, grabbed a bench, got some weights, got a bar, and came back down to Jack's house, and they set up the bench and the weights, and they started buffing right there. And that's when Tookie, Raymond, Mac, a host of Billy Jack, a lot of different people used to come through and buff iron at his house. So yeah, that was Big Jack. But yeah, I would say that Craig Monson definitely, and then and just some of the others. Let me mention these guys too. There was not only Big David Clark, but we had to go to Mike Christian. We have to go to let's see. So, and one of my homeboys, I can't leave him out. Big JJ, Johnny Jones. Johnny Jones caught the first murder in our neighborhood, like 71, 70, I would say 71. And when he came back home, man, that man had muscles stacked everywhere. So I think with a lot of it was Craig Munson, but a lot of it started developing. Dr. Love, thank you. Guys started developing when they started going to the pen, because now you had this big old focus on you sitting on this pen. You got all this time to do, and you got all this iron. That's when they were still allowing weights on the prison yards, and the workout became the thing, So yeah, and then I can't not put the Bloods in there, because when everybody saw Momo on his picture, but there was this one guy, right? And we can't leave out Ray Boyce. It's real. I'm gonna tell you about Ray Boyce. There was another guy named Ronald Mosley. Ronald Mosley used to ride around in his Seville. He was a Blood, Pyru. He ride around, and Zachary McGee was another big old dude on her from over there. But Ronald Mosley used to ride around in Seville with no shirt on and this big old gold chain and muscles. And I don't know if anybody ever approached Ronald, but it was like crazy, because when I think part of it was like, it was like it prepared you for confrontation. It enhanced your stature within the streets, and it has an intimidation factor attached to it. When you seen a dude with just huge with muscles everywhere, you wasn't too easy, because back then we were fighting. Wasn't too many. So definitely in the 70s, guys worked on their physiques and worked on, because I remember when my homeboy Alfred Washington, his mom had bought him a waist set, and me, BJ, CB, Crazy Bob, BJ, Bobby Joe, Sugar Bear, Big Mac. We used to go with Alfred's house and we buff iron, because at that time Tookie was coming through the hood. We see Tookie, we wanted to be like, the size of Tookie. Or we saw Wally Gator. Wally Gator was on Huff too. But JJ Johnny Jones, he was like, man, he was cut up like Craig Monson. Man, I don't even know what JJ is now, man. I ain't seen him in so years, but yeah, that was my homeboy. He was an original Oaks Park businessman. So, but both sides had dudes that was like influence, and I had to say that everybody, if it wasn't Craig Munson, it was Mike Christian or somebody else that influenced this weightlifting thing, because there was a lot of fights in the 70s, and it was like the pure man strength. It was the man strength that would a lot of times that proved to prevail in these fights. So a lot of guys would get with the program, and they work on their physiques and did a lot of bodybuilding. So and then also it was like intimidation. I remember going to the concerts, and I can't leave Jamel out either. Jamel Barnes, going to the concerts back then, to the Forum. Tookie and Jamel used to walk in, and the whole concert used to just freeze. It was like they be walking, they ain't had no shirts on. They got these overalls on, one suspender attached, but just walking around. The whole concert just was stop. And everybody would like be looking at them too, right? So that goes to show you that it did have an intimidation component attached to it, whether people want to admit that or not. It's just like you wasn't just going to run up on one of these dudes if you really didn't know your skills. And then back then in the 70s, what was really, not only was the weightlifting, dudes was training karate, boxing. You know, this day and time when you see these kids, they look malnourished and suffer from malnutrition. You know, so today's, if you had to do a comparisons, right? Today's guys that you now know as Damos and Keyways, I wouldn't even call it that no more. It's got to be called something else, because it looks so different than what I knew what it was and what I knew was put together. What they're doing today, it's like, yeah, they real frail, bro. They real frail. It's something totally different. I don't know why they even hold on to that Damo and Keyway when they should just, because it doesn't look the same. They don't it doesn't interact the same. It's just something totally different from the way I remember it was. And because there was protocols, there was pecking orders, there was codes, and you know, nobody was just point the finger and nobody say this dude did that. Listen, you had proof. If you said somebody was snitching, you better know what the heck you was talking about. You couldn't just say that about anybody like they do now on the internet and all this stuff. You know, so the internet is, thank you, Mark. The internet is definitely ruining a lot of people and ruining a lot of reputations. And I'm going to say this again. You can't ruin a street dude reputation on the internet. I mean, you could try, but to me, it seemed like you would have to do it in the parks and the alleys and the prisons where it was built at. Their reputations wasn't built on the internet, bro. So when you see these guys fat mouthing on the internet, and we see a lot of it, I mean, I'm irritated by it, to be honest with you, because and when I see other dudes talking about this and that, you know, and they fighting and stuff, and they fighting against their own kind. It don't make any sense. It's very nonsensical. So again, coming back to Craig Munson, I think Craig, let me give you a picture of Craig, matter of fact. I think Craig like inspired everybody, to be honest with you. Because if you look at Craig right here. Let me find Craig. This is Craig. That's big Craig Munson right there. Craig grew up right there in Watts. He grew up right there where everybody used to go to his house and go by and everybody wanted to buff. I mean, the dudes that could buff with, he wasn't letting everybody buff with him because everybody couldn't buff with him. And nobody lifting no weight like Craig lifting. Tookie and maybe some Cute's brothers. Cute's brother was on swole too. So and a lot of other people was, you know, on swole, but everybody couldn't buff no iron with no Craig Munson. I'm gonna tell you that right now. No, that boy. If you saw him out being his beast pressing from the head, the skull crunches and stuff, man, you know. But I do have a homeboy, right? His name is Raw Dog. And I'm gonna give you boy Raw Dog. Raw Dog is my homeboy, and he had like
Man, Raw Dog is my longtime friend all the way back from elementary school to junior high to high school and beyond. So, but Raw Dog, man, one day we was on Golden Street and he knocked, how many niggas you knocked out, Reg?
Two of them, though. You know,
There's two of them? I thought it was three.
No, it was only two.
It was only two, but you could have handled three.
That's it, you know.
Yeah, we gonna bring that story to y'all, man. That's my boy Raw Dog right here. But man, go on and shout about Reg. How you like that hood post, man?
Man, I love it, man. You know.
That's
all the way real.
That's my partner right there, man, from way back.
From kids all the way to the day.
There you go.
Yeah, that's my homie Raw Dog, man. And y'all know him on the 1984 docuseries documentary as Reg. when the cops actually, what they call you, Reg? Yeah, yeah. But that's Raw Dog. 500 bench press. You know, so it's not unusual or not abnormal to see guys even to this day still buffing iron because that's what they come from. That's what they know. And I think Craig Munson and Mike Christian were some of the ones that led that right there to keep inspiring everybody, because everybody, even Raymond, Tookie, Mac Thomas, Head Huncho, and maybe what you see in the pic, right? You see Lil Heron and Baby Huncho on Swole. They was in YTS. They're on the thumbnail. So what I'm saying, that all this stuff just trickled down and down and down and down and down. But in today's term, where we see these kids now, they're more like this. They ain't doing none of this. They don't do none of that. You know, so but that's all emotions. That's emotion driven right there. When you see people just go to that, that's emotions. That's not necessarily. I tell you, there's three ways that prove to be a man. It's that you communicate well, you're able to apologize, and you also able to have accountability for your actions. That's what makes you grown. If you're missing any one of those parts, you're not grown. You're still an adolescent, you're a child, you're a toddler, or you're a man baby. So yeah, so during those times, man, you know, you can imagine all them guys. If you can imagine even going to the Red House when Tookie used to pull out all the weights out there, everybody be pulling up going over there. The homie, even when I remember when I first saw Big Volcano, Big Rebo, let's see, Big Volcano, Big Rebo, all of them got out the pen. All them dudes was like 20 and 22-inch arms and boat tubes and stuff. They was bolted up, you know, huge. So it wasn't out of the ordinary to see these guys still following that pattern and following that what that tradition was, because it was all training and it was all based on physical strength in case of confrontation. If you got the physical strength and you got the training, when you got a chance, when you met confrontation, you was prepared and ready for it, you know. Like I was telling you, when I should see Ronald Mosey riding around in that Seville, and Ronald Mosey don't seem like he wasn't concerned about no Crips. That just the way I took it, the way he was riding around in that Seville with no shirt on. Everybody knew who he was, you know. And I vaguely remember something happened, but I don't want to say it because I don't necessarily recall exactly what happened. So I'm gonna just leave that part alone. But yeah, somebody did approach him on something, but I can't remember exactly what it was. But yeah, but he was all straight haul. Can't take that from him. Straight haul. Wasn't concerned or worried or tripping on what the Crips was doing or none of that. You know, I guess he felt like I'm Ronald Mosley. So yeah, it was just, you know, interesting times, the 70s, even all the way up to the 80s. And it's funny how my man, he mentioned that whistle. Star Wars, what's happening? What's going on? Felton Johnson, I remember when they used to hit that iron at the parole center on 91st and Central. Oh yeah, there you go, see? Yeah, the ball dog still on swole, man. It just got off the bench. My uncles had me on that iron early. Yeah, I mean that's what we did, bro. We just wasn't running out there. It wasn't ready to be in the mix. You just run. If you run out there now, trying to get in the mix of something, you ain't got the physical ability or the man strength, and you ain't been buffing that iron, man. You was gonna get slung. You was gonna get slung out your shoes, you know. Because I tell you, man, everybody has something going on boxing. I remember it was the Compton House of Champs. There was also kind of like uh dojos, and people was going to train for karate and kimpo and all the different stuff, kung fu, you know. There's a lot going on, but it was everybody was into it. And everybody was, you know, that weightlifting, that boxing, karate, pit bulls, pigeons, all that went together. It was not separate. It all went together. And that whistle, all that was part of the culture. But nowadays you don't see none of that part of the culture. I don't even think they raise pit bulls anymore. And these kids don't raise no pigeons. They don't understand none of that. They don't do none of that. All they do is smoke blunts and play PlayStation and eat McDonald's. It's crazy, man. How when you really think about it, that only thing we do together is the electric slide and the wobble, right? And I call some folks doing just that. They just happy. They just so happy to do doing it. Here we go. Here we go. This is what we do now. That's what we do right there. Look how happy they are. Look how happy them people are. They out there on time, in sync, not missing a step. Everybody enjoying. My man got McDonald's or something in his hand. But that, that's that's where we at. You know, we don't do nothing else together, but we could come together for the electric slide and the wobble, which is, what can I say? But then you got specifically every day you got people that wake up, get on the internet to slang, mud, degradation, misogyny, frustration, ignorance every day. And it seems like it don't even bother them or something. It's like they're immune to it. It's like menticide. That's what it is. It's menticide because there's something going on in chemical imbalance in the brain when you indulge in this stuff every day, and you base it on content. You're saying it's content. It's not content. You're destroying. You're advocating for destroying the culture. You're part of the problem that's wrong with the culture conditioning that's been pushed on pushed on particular people, and you're not helping it at all by doing the stuff that you do. Now there's many subjects we can go expound on. We can do the science, do the statistics, the data, the research, and expound on subject matters, right? But no, they rather talk about people. They rather talk about people. They rather talk about who went to jail or who snitching or who got shot, all this type of stuff. And we just keep perpetuating the cycle. And every weekend, the morgues are filled up with more black people by black people. We see what happened over in the Amphis. I think 7 people, was it 7 people or 5 people shot? 2 unlived, and I think 5 more survived. Just right over the weekend, over in the Hamptons area. My condolences to those people, whoever over there was wounded or whoever got shot. I think it was a little Calico, if I'm not mistaken about the name, from Hamptons Park. And it's sad that we keep going through this stuff, and for the life of them, they don't understand that this is us doing this to us. Ain't nobody going out there doing it. The Ku Klux Klan or none of that is coming over here doing nothing within the black community. The black community does it all by themselves. And I'm not saying that even back in the days we had our differences, but yet we were still there was other stuff we were doing. We wasn't just walking around looking for somebody to shoot. If somebody got shot, it was for a specific reason, and 9 times out of 10, they shot the person that was supposed to get shot for whatever reason they did what they did. It wasn't random people being shot. It just wasn't. If anybody got shot back in the day, right, there was a specific reason why they got shot. It wasn't like a random thing where people, 5 or 6 people just get shot and nobody know why they got shot. They just got shot. Nah, that didn't happen back then. So, and I'm not saying, I'm not trying to justify it or make it better, but it was a little more, it was different. Let me put it that way. It was different. It's all wrong. It's all bad when you think about it and you go into your mind and you look into your heart and you really examine how we treat one another and how we act. Even if we look at each other, that verbal and nonverbal conflict, right? There's both. You can look at a dude and automatically he's mad at you. He don't know nothing about you, but you looked at him wrong. Or he felt like you looked at him wrong, like you look at him some kind of way, like you wanted to do something. And all the time, you probably it was just a glance or something you just did and wasn't really paying attention that you looking at this particular individual. And next thing you know, they up and heat on you. So it's ironic that we in this day and time that where these kids who are definitely suffering from a lot of different things, not only the 10 different drugs that they take, but just the way they've been reared in the household. I remember growing up, man, in my time, man, the street lights was the calling card. You had to get home before the street lights came on. You know, that was mandatory. And that was for most kids. That wasn't just for my father's kids. That was for Mr. Kitchen's kids, Mr. Lynch's kids, Mr. Daniel's kids, Mr. Burton's kids, everybody kids. Because those families looked out for one another and we had things together. But this day and time, you can't even go to your next door neighbor and and ask them for a cup of sugar. they, they, they gonna talk bad about you because you need a cup of sugar. They gonna get on the internet and create a whole story about it. That's what they gonna do. That's what people do. They run to the internet instead of calling people and talk to them directly. They rather just get on the internet and just talk to them that way. They don't even want to talk to you in person or pick up the phone or none of that. They just go to the internet and just start spilling your business. Stamina's bad. Eating the food that never goes bad. Can't go out for years. Yeah, you're right, bro. Rock Fresh, what's happening? John says, what's going on? How's the brother, man? Sleepy, what's happening, man? What's going on, Sleepy? I got your messages, bro. Yeah, so I would say again, Craig Munson is probably what inspired a lot of different people to buff iron, because if you look at Craig, how huge he was, I mean, you can't. That's just ripped up right there, and he walking around in plain sight for everybody to see him. He wasn't hiding, you know. That's big Craig Munson right there. See what they got going on, man. Westmoreland, California. Okay. Okay, yeah. So yeah, that's how I go, I guess. I just wish we get better at it. We constantly saying rest in peace, but when we gonna say rest and live, let them live. Live in peace. We saying rest in peace. What about live in peace? Are we ever gonna learn that part? Are we ever gonna learn that part where we get down to the part where we say, man, let's live in peace instead of rest in peace? It's unfortunate that we have to wait around to somebody and then everybody run to the funeral and and all that. That just I don't know. It's like it's sad to me. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but it's very sad to me. And I just try to keep my spirits up by reading books and getting into other things and trying to find positive in these narratives. And even on the internet, I look for positive things on the internet, but then there's so much negative stuff. And then they get a situation and they make video and video and video and video and video and video about the same thing. No creativity. Because what is content? Content is ability to write, is to be a creative, look at the data, the science, and just giving a good narrative or an analysis of what they're speaking about, not getting caught up in this rut to where you just speaking about one certain thing. And I don't want to call no names. Everybody know who they are. I don't need to do that. But that's just seeing what the order of the day is. And I guess they don't have no problem with it. It makes them money. Reason why generations in the family is making our goals throw celebrations of all the elders last 8 years. Mm. Yeah, so when I go down, I like when I go down the soft part, down in the Avalons with the fire trays, and then I see all the businessmen. They got a section where all the businessmen be at, right? I'm talking about before there was ever even a five trade gangster or none of that. They was the businessmen, and they still congregate up there at South Park. So I love that about that. That culture is very rich and thick. So their lineage is right there when they talk about the newborns and the I forgot what Big Physical called them, but he had a few names. But it was like, oh, so that's where that came from. Yeah. So when I went down there and heard all that, I was like, wow, the unborns, the newborns, and the pregnants. There you go. The pregnants, the unborn, and the newborn, and so on and so forth. Yeah. So they had that going on with the Slausons, and that when you go back to Craig Monson, he had the avenues. So it was the avenues, the Slausons, the businessmen, the rebel rousers, the gladiators. Craig Munson said, "What you going to call it?" Little Crip. I don't know if Craig said that. I don't know if Craig said that. I ain't putting that no Craig. You know. Like I say, I did meet Craig before, talk with him and everything when we were away in Wayside. So Morris Stein was there, Bodacious, Shadow Dog, a couple other cats. Even Sniper from the Kitchen was there. He said that he said that on Craig Mac. Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. That's funny. Yeah, well, he was, he was a big, huge guy, so he could pretty much say what he wanted to say. Who was going to challenge him? That's what I want to know. Who was going to challenge Craig Munson? I don't even know if that's true, bro. You put a lot on it, Cap. Craig didn't really confirm that. He kind of danced around that to me. Now, have you heard him say that directly? You heard that him saying that where he slapped Raymond for roasting his mama, his mommy? Yeah, he said all that. Okay. I don't know. Seemed like when I heard him talking about it, right, he kind of danced around it. He didn't really come out and say whether he did it or not. Just without my experience on it. Now, maybe you got more experience. Are you from Watts? He thought Raymond was, I remember Victor Adams. Oh, he was walking like Victor Adams, right. He said Craig mama had a size 12 shoe. Now that's them fighting words right there. Yeah, them fight. Because back then you talk about somebody mama, boy, you gonna get beat up, right? You couldn't talk about nobody mama. Do anything but talk about somebody mama. That was definitely fighting words. I remember back then, if you had a fight, right, they used to draw a line on the ground, right? I double dare you to cross this line if you do it's on. Or they will put a stick on your shoulder. I dare you, triple dare you to knock this stick off my shoulder. It's on. Uh-huh. Yeah, see, you guys been watching him then. If you guys know all that, you've been watching. Because when I heard him speak on it, guys, that's just from my perspective. You guys may have follow him a little more in depth than I have. And he kind of danced around it. I don't know if it was the environment that made him dance around it, or he felt more comfortable in an interview where there wasn't nobody around. He could just pretty much say what he want to say. In one of his interviews, they were saying that Raymond had a limp. His leg was uneven. I believe Craig because he knows the origins of the Crip, but from him and Raymond, well, I wouldn't necessarily say Craig know the origins. He know maybe the beginnings. He knew how it came about, but he was never a Crip, so he was never. And furthermore, there's no avenues around no more. See, so whatever the Crips did build, it was a lot stronger than what the avenues were, right? So, I don't know. And furthermore, when somebody's dead, you can pretty much say what you want to say. And there's nobody there to defend it. Craddock is gone, Bulldog is gone, Big David Clark, Mad Dog is gone, Moto is gone, a lot of people is gone, Erskine, a lot of people is gone. So you could pretty much, if you like the last, it's just like when we hear certain people get on the internet and they talk about certain things, and if they're a certain age, like 73 and 74, they can say stuff that we be like, I don't know, but I can't challenge it because you older than me and you've been here longer, and I really can't challenge what you're saying because I really don't know, So people can say what they want to say, and there's nobody to challenge it. You get what I'm saying? I remember when Ray Boyce, my homie Raw Dog, the one I just showed y'all. Let me show y'all Raw Dog again. Raw Dog. Raw Dog was going with Donna.
Man, Raw Dog is my longtime friend all the way back from elementary school.
That's Raw Dog right there, right? And he was going with Ray Boy's sister Donna. And she had lived on, at that time, Magnolia. And I pulled up there. I met Raw Dog over there. And he told me, man, Donna's tore up. I was like, what's going on? She said her brother just, I was like, who was her brother? And that's when I found out that Ray Boyce was her brother, and he had just got killed over in the Nickersons. It's like, wow. So when you go back and think about all that, look at all that, all that, all that. Years and years and years and years and years of things. And if you don't go get no therapy for that, man, you would never be right. You'll never be right. I don't been in spots where people just died, like when Bootsy died, and then when my homie Cardell, when he got shot, and if I hadn't held him down to keep him from running, he would, he would have, believe he would have left because he would have bled out. But I held him. I wouldn't let him run. I held him, and then the people worked on him, got him back right. But there's so many people that's just, do different things. And it's just trauma, man. And then we wind up bonding in trauma. We trauma bond, just, man, it's big time. All these different funerals and all these different repasses and stuff. It's all linked in trauma bonding. It's all linked to trauma bonding, bro. But I get it, right? I mean, Craig Monson can say what he needs to say. Bertie Swan might be able to answer those kind of questions. I don't know, how old is Bertis? I think Bertis still. I don't know if Bertis that. How old is Bertis? Did y'all hear how old he is? I know who he is, but I don't know how old he is. Did anybody catch how old Bertis Swan is? I guess not. Nobody know. Bertis Swan, man, he's another different dude, man. Just a different dude. I'm sure at one time he probably was a cool person and everything, but yeah, he wound up being like, what's the guy? Getting on I want it, I got to have it, and I'm gonna take you. That's what Bertis Swan is right there. 1 or 2 years under Raymond. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Bertis Swan, man, he a predator, bro. Nobody talked about that, Nobody talked about that. They let him get away with that, They let him say all that stuff, but they didn't ask him about all them boys he don't, what he don't did with them, I ain't here for it though, but that's another story. We'll talk about that some other time. Yep. You say, well, I didn't know that, Professor. Yeah. That'd be crazy, bro. All them dudes spend all that time in the prison. And that's how we became Crips. What's the W back there for, Ali? But just imagine all them dudes wind up going over there, buffing iron with Craig Munson, at some point. Or going to Big Jack house because Big David Clark, Mad Dog, took the whole weight bench and all the weights down to Jack's house, and everybody was going over there buffing iron. Why did they give people great passes? That part I don't know, bro. I don't know. There's trust me, Joe. There's a lot of people. All you got to do is put their name in. That's in that Megan's Pharaoh. Megan's Law. A lot. Yeah, I've been following him. I think he gets out next year. I'm in far. I went and looked at his date not too long ago. He ain't doing nothing up there. Ain't nothing up in Mendota. He in the middle of nowhere. That Mendota, and a couple of other Atwater, and what's the other one up there? They all new spots. Those you do not want to go when they open up one of them like Victorville, open up one of them new fit. You don't want to go to them places. Terrible, terrible. Yeah, I don't know why they do that, but you know the ones you talking about, Joe Farrell, you talking about the ones in the pen? Why they don't put them on there? Is that what you meant to say? When they know they that way? What's going on, John? I try to keep my mouth shut on that stuff, man, because that stuff is. I mean, but how long we must hold stuff and sweep stuff under the carpet and pretend these dudes is not like that? You know, it's almost like how that was like in some of the black households, and even in church, they just would certain things they wouldn't just, they would just keep it inside. No, don't take it outside the church, or don't take it. No, that dude is weird. You know, gotta expose them. That's the only way you're gonna take them off their trajectory, or that's the only way you're gonna be able to slow them down on the road that they traveling on. Same age as Raymond. Okay. Same. That's the only way you're gonna slow them down. You gotta expose them. Else they gonna continue to keep doing what they doing. It's change. Nothing's gonna change. They're gonna keep doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it until something happening where they have to, stop, or somebody gets involved. But anyway, that's my piece for today, guys. Maybe we'll bounce back on. I got a long day here tomorrow, so I decided to jump on here today, and I'm gonna get the 3-pack back on here because a lot of people been saying different stuff. But I want to get them on here on live, and we'll talk. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna call them right now, and maybe we can do it tomorrow. Get the OVGs, get the Witses, and the dead ends. Get them all on here tomorrow, and we'll see what happened with that. But once again, I appreciate you guys for coming in and tapping in with me and listening to me ramble for a little bit, and hopefully that we increase in intellect, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, but purify our hearts and purify our minds, because we all we got. We all we got, and we keep allowing people to misuse us and abuse us, and we don't start taking care of one another. We're gonna hopefully ever be doing the mediocrity. And we got to man up, man. Safe travels. Appreciate you. We got to man up, We got to take the front and center of this and start addressing certain things and calling certain people out. That's why I don't celebrate killers. They come home from the pen and they don't do something. I ain't for that. I stopped that. I used to be there for it, but once I started looking at it and examining it, I'm like, oh, no, I ain't doing that. Nope. I don't do it. But anyway, I am Professor Melly Mail, the Hood Postman. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Drop a comment down below. So when the dope content hit, it's a feel like it's the first and 15. You know what it is. Don't mind me, just watch it. Church moving, but go ahead and lock that door. Marlena, lock the door, because we are gone.
Cali finest, baby. Proof of grind all the time. Music money, got a dollar sign. Hub City. I'm a street nigga, streets fuck with me. I'ma keep pushing products till the fans get me. It's guap off top, diamond Cartier. That nigga wall won't give a broke bitch the time of day. They see me climbing, they see me shining. That's hard work, proof of grinding. New money got me tipping in that 550. Ali, bad man, and I'm so pretty. I got that tech with me, that's my hater sprayer. Go big, grind now, nigga, play later. What can I say? I'm addicted to this paper stacking, and I don't talk about it, I just make it happen. Word on the block is that my shit go. Reach for the low.
Lock the door, cause we are gone.